Welcome to the Making Moves with Mao podcast. In every episode, you'll hear stories from individuals just like you that are trying to make an impact. They'll share their unique journey and some helpful tips that got them to where they are now. You'll hear conversations with people from all walks of life who are trying to make some moves. Now, here's your host, Mao.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Making Moves with Mao. Today I'm really excited to have my guest, Jesse Palencia here. This guy's the ultimate king of side hustles, man. And I always want to figure out how you do it, man, because there's a lot of stuff that you do, and your story is very unique and interesting. So I'm happy for you to jump on here and share your story with us, man.
It's great to be here.
Thank you for coming, dude.
Yeah, no problem.
So tell me how your career started. Obviously, you have your professional career, right? And then you're obviously pretty involved in the entertainment industry and everything that you do with, the DJ aspect and everything like that. So
yeah, for
tell
sure.
me how it started.
Yeah, so I'm a school counselor at Benito Juarez Community Academy in Pilsen. I actually went to that school, so
Nice.
It's full circle.
Full circle.
Yeah, full circle. I was a college counselor or college coach and then teacher. So that's that journey, I consider myself having two true full-time jobs. I'm also I own a company, DJ Persist, wedding company, or not wedding or DJ company, but now focused on weddings.
Right.
Do DJing, like lighting, audio visual, photo booths, and most recently I started getting into photography. So a little bit of everything, like you mentioned
many
before.
hats, man.
But yeah, it's been an evolution, I guess humble beginnings, in high school or even just growing up. I was always around music. My dad was in a cumbia band.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
In the 80s. It was like, think about Fito Olivares, that type of cumbia. And again, I was always around music. It was also my cousins and they were also in the group, so nice. Always in their
so that's practices. Where the love of music stemmed from.
Yeah, from my dad. I would say my dad. My dad has had a big influence on me. A hard worker, so always grinding. So yeah, pretty much I see him, and that's pretty much what I do. And I just grind, and yeah, often.
Man, I feel like you don't even stop. You don't even take a break, right? You're always constantly on the go.
Yeah, I think a big thing about me is never stay stagnant.
Yep.
And I think that has to do with the growth of or at least the ventures, that I've gone into. Started DJing, started doing like lighting, audio visual, and then going to photo booths, and then photo booths now into photography. So like I'm constantly evolving, constantly, figuring out what's the next thing. I guess that has to do with the education in me, or the factor that is my career.
Right.
And obviously as a former teacher or now school counselor, I had to go to, professional development. Obviously I have to go to workshops, every year I had to do a certain amount of hours, and I kind of paralleled that to DJing and the photo booths. This like 2-3 weeks ago, I went to Las Vegas. I went for 12 hours. I went on the first flight, came back at the last flight. And that was it was a photo booth / DJ conference, and I'm trying to find out what's the next big.
Right. Constantly evolving and adapting to the next, what's the next wave in the industries.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, let me get back. I know there's a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
Definitely how I got started, DJ in high school.
So let's go back a little bit.
Yeah.
So obviously you said your dad was in a band, and that's kind of where the love of music kind of stemmed from. What made you get into like actually doing DJ? Like how did that?
Yeah. So so I was just saying high school, I was in my school band, played clarinet, saxophone,
Oh, nice.
So I was also into music. I also have like a big love for house music, growing up in the South Side Chicago. Pretty much, yeah, house music, it was life, and met somebody in high school through mutual friends, they were DJing. Like I've had turntables, that was my gift. when I was a freshman in high school. You know, even before that, I started bringing records. You know, it's just music. You know, DJing. Right. So I actually did start off on records. You know, there's this old record store that's not around. It was across the street from Curie High School on Archer and Pulaski. Okay. Hot Jams, you know, I used to buy 1-2 records. Like, all right, cool. You know, I got $10. You know, I'm gonna buy this. Started buying records, and then I think it was my 15th or 16th birthday. I asked for my dad for turntables. I got turntables. Obviously, I had no idea with DJing, so I bought.
So you were just kind of practicing, doing like learning as you go, right?
Well, like learning as I go, but more is the equipment. The equipment that I bought was like I don't know if I can swear, but like shitty equipment, you know, shitty like equipment. Which I had no idea, and even the value, I probably got ripped off. You know, I just saw. I don't know what it was. I think it was like Craigslist. It wasn't even Craigslist. Some sort of like classifieds. Yeah. Where like, all right, turntables. Like, all right, cool. You know, you're getting the best turntables. And now, what I know now, they were shitty turntables. So,
but when you start, you don't know much, right? So that's kind of
and that brings lesson. That brings up to the good point. Like, often a lot of people, you know, in whatever industry, you know, even if you're like in culinary, you know, you want to be John Ramsey, or was it David Ramsey, whatever, right. Gordon Ramsay. You know, you're like, I want to run multiple restaurants. You know, I want to have my own TV show. Like, whoa. Slow it down.
It's got to start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere. First. And that also happens with a lot of, like, DJs right now. People, like, you know, I'm always willing to give a helping hand. But they start out like, I want to DJ the clubs. I'm like, whoa, man. Like, slow your roll, man. Like, start off at, like, house parties. Right? Yeah, it's the house parties. And then family parties, you know. And there's a time, you know, to go, and that's how I started. You know, I started in my bedroom. Again, in high school, you know, this mutual friend, we started a production company. We were doing house parties. We're just doing house parties, and then eventually we started doing more like renting out restaurants, like / clubs.
Yeah, and I think you make a good point where, like, you know, especially in the DJ industry or industries like that, you know, like barbers or whatnot, it's the practice, you know, perfecting your craft and getting better and better over practice and over time, and eventually you evolve to the, you know, that next level and playing at the club and then doing weddings and doing all that stuff, right? So
it's funny that you say about evolving. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I sucked. You know, when I started. Yeah. I went to U of I this weekend, and I DJ'd a fraternity party, and one of my fraternity brothers was present. And this guy has not heard me like DJ in years, like since like undergrad. Like I graduated college 2007. That's probably the last I heard me DJ. 2007 to 2022.
Right, it's been a while.
It's been a while, and he texted me. I think it was on Monday or Tuesday. Mm-hmm. I was DJing on Saturday. And he's like, "Hey man, LB, like I want to tell you that when you were DJing, I didn't even notice you changed the songs, you know, and." Yeah, it's a skill. It's a skill that you perfect. It's a skill that I get. All right, yeah, like I hope, you know, even next year, even the next 2-3 months, that I'm not the same person. You know, I don't want to be the same person. You know. Yeah. And from 2007 to 2022, of course, you know, I want to get better. Definitely. Just always want to get better with anything, and it's just funny that you were talking about evolving. That he told me, like, I didn't notice the transition. Yeah,
that's awesome, man.
I was a train wreck. You know, like.
I'm sure when you started, it was not the same. Yeah.
Yeah, but now he's like, oh man, like I didn't even notice it, and that's the point. Like from now, I'm pretty. I would again not to sound too cocky, but yeah, I'm more skilled now than I was back then. But sure. Yeah, that was that journey on high school. Funny story is that the day before I had to leave, I went to U of I in Champaign for college. The day before, I threw a party with this other associate. I had enough money to buy my books that semester. So literally, I was on the grind, even going to college. You know, like, let's throw this last party, my going away party. And yeah, I made enough money.
That's awesome, man.
And obviously, I continued the DJing, you know.
Yeah.
Went to U of I, you know, was DJing house parties, you know, and, you know, I bought what I learned from Chicago. Like, all right, I'm doing house music. Right. And I'm playing house music, and nobody listens to house music at U of I. I'm like, all right, crap. I gotta evolve. Well, even before that in high school, I was always into Latin music. So like I was like DJ the merengue, the bachata, the reggaeton. So like, all right, I gotta play more of that. And obviously I evolved. Started getting more into hip hop in undergrad. So I started playing all that stuff. And yeah, I worked my way through, started doing a lot of, I actually started DJing for other fraternities down there, aside from my own, and doing like the college parties. And then from there, it evolved even in college, started doing the bars and clubs down there. So obviously I was involved, like, all right, I was doing house parties. I did a couple family events, here and there, the small parties. And then college, started doing the bars and clubs. Graduated from college, moved to Houston for 2 years, connected with my fraternity out there. I did a couple of club gigs, and then I started doing more. I did like a wedding or two. And then from there, I started doing like little house parties. And then I moved back to Chicago. And that's where the real like evolution to what I am, I think, really started. I think one advice I tell like to anybody, whatever industry you're in, definitely find a mentor, and that's what I did, coming back.
When you were here?
Coming back to Chicago, doing my thing, start doing like small parties and here and there, and even I started doing the nightclubs in Chicago. I started DJing for this one promoter, V5, who is still today, probably the biggest Latin promoter in the city. So I was playing the top Latin clubs, and I proved to myself, like, did an audition, played. I made an impression to the music manager, like, all right, come back next week. Like, all right, came back next week, and all right, you're a resident at this club.
Wow.
I had 3, 4, or 5 residencies at different clubs in the city. Then from there, like, I was like, all right, let me keep on DJing. And then obviously my college friends started saying, like, oh, you were good in undergrad, come DJ my wedding. Like, all right, cool. I DJ your wedding. Like,
so that's how the whole
wedding thing started. I did a couple weddings, here and there. Not how it is right now, but like back then I did max 5, 6, 10 weddings, a year.
Okay.
I connected this one company, it's a DJ company. They were looking for DJs, and like, all right, cool, like, let me sign up. So I was working under a company, doing weddings. So this one guy from this one company, obviously trained me to do like weddings. And
right, that's a whole nother animal in itself.
Yeah.
Right? Compared to like parties or the nightlife.
Yeah. So the weddings, obviously I was so used to doing Latino weddings. When I came work with this guy, he's doing like top notch, like weddings in downtown. Obviously it's a different demographic,
right?
More mainstream. So I had to evolve. Like, all right, I need to play more quote unquote white music, and obviously I learned from there. Like, all right, this is what you play this much. And then I learning more the processes. And I think it was then when I started like doing more weddings that I learned that DJing, or at least DJing weddings, it's not necessarily what you play. It's the experience that you give.
Right.
And that's where
that environment
you're selling the experience. Anybody could play the top hits, right now. Like right now, what's big right now is the early 2000s. That's right. When I was in college, that was my prime time.
Right.
Anybody could play Usher. Yeah. Anybody could play Jump Around, make the crowd go wild. But it's what happens in the background. Like, how are you going to distinguish yourself from other DJs? Yeah. Anybody could play music.
Right.
But what are you doing aside from playing music? And that's what I learned that distinguished me from just playing like ordinary parties. Like, what am I going to bring to the table that's different?
Right.
Like, I'm not going to be the person in the background just playing music, pressing play. I'm going to help you execute your event. So
okay. So going now, actually taking it as a business, right? So you started with that company, that DJ company. How long were you with them? How long were you
so I was doing gigs for them like constantly. I was doing like from 5 to 10 like weddings on my own, and now I'm with this company. I was doing now 20 weddings.
Okay.
And then obviously I started getting more experience in weddings, and then getting even more college buddies asking me like, hey, DJ my wedding. Like, all right, cool. It came to a point where I was DJing like so many weddings that, like, you know what? Let me leave this club industry because you evolve.
Yeah.
Again, I was saying I also have a career as an educator.
Right.
I started running into my students at the club.
Oh yeah.
So that's a big
That'll do
sign.
it.
Yeah, that's a big sign. Like, all right, I need to stop. And I think it was 2015. That's when I stopped like doing the clubs.
The clubs.
I was getting booked so much, and my music manager will get upset at me because, hey, I'm doing this wedding. I need to show up at 12, and I can't DJ. You know, I need to be there. Start working at 1 to 5 in the morning.
Right.
And you're like, all right, now I gotta accommodate the schedule just for you. You know.
Right. Right.
People were getting upset, and you know what? I'm done. I'm done DJing the clubs. And then I started doing my own thing now, and then again I started getting that experience. And around that same time, you know, I was picking up all these weddings. That's when I started educating myself. Let me start going to these conferences and see what's new. It was like about 2014. I went to this DJ conference in Atlantic City, and I saw like photo booths. Like, oh, photo booths, cool. And they're promoting at a DJ conference.
Right.
Like, what's this about? So I pulled the trigger. Like, you know what? This is gonna be it. This is gonna be what's gonna distinguish me from other DJs. Like, I'm not just gonna be DJing. I'm also offering. And again, it goes back to it's about the experience, not necessarily the music you're playing. So this is gonna enhance the experience.
Yeah. How do you add more value to the event? Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So that's what I started doing the photo booths in 2014. Obviously, it goes back to me like knowing nothing.
Right.
That photo booth that I bought from this one company was like a bad company because they profited from every event that you did. Obviously, I learned like, all right, it was a good first purchase. I made my money back. I make money, you know.
Yeah.
But now I know, like, all right, this is the photo booths that I bought. So now, currently, I have 5 different types of photo booths.
Wow. Okay.
So different, again, going back, it's the experience that you're selling. You're not necessarily selling the product, you're selling the experience. And that's what it comes to, like DJing and photo booths. You're selling the experience. And I think it wasn't until 2017, that's why, like, all right, I'm getting hundreds and hundreds of dollars in my bank account. Like, I need to separate my personal stuff with my business stuff.
Right. Right.
And that's why I formed my LLC.
Okay.
DJ Persist. And I think that's when it took off. Like, all right, I could do DJing just weddings. And like currently right now, I'm doing anywhere between 40 and 60 weddings a year.
Wow, dude, that's...
And I'm making, again, just to give you a ballpark figure, I think this past year I definitely made over 6 figures.
Just from the wedding business.
Just for the wedding
business.
Just from DJing.
Right.
Like about 6 figures. Like about 150. You know, that's how much I made.
So when was that moment that made you realize, like, hey, this is actually a career. This is actually a profitable career that I can go all in on, and then, you know.
I think going back to when I started forming my LLC, like, I was getting packed, like, booked so much, like, every weekend there. Yeah. I didn't need the club gig right now. Like, now I can just focus on the wedding industry and DJing. So I think that's when I realized, like, good 2017, 2018, then just focus on weddings and constantly, like, again, getting better and better and more booked, you know. Like, now, again, anywhere from April all the way to November, pretty much booked every single weekend.
Every weekend.
Yeah.
And you're all booked for 2022 then.
Pretty much
for next year now.
Yeah, pretty much 2022. Like, don't even call it. Just
you're too late.
Yeah.
You missed the boat.
Fridays, Sundays, you know, a little bit more flexible, but Saturdays it's I'm not gonna be available. But yeah, one of the other things with that, I guess how did I get there? You know, how did I get booked? And again, a lot of, like, my DJ, you know, like, friends, you know, who are coming up, you know, they ask me, and again, I do have a couple close friends, like, / fraternity brothers who are DJs who ask me, like, damn, how did you get there? And again, the experience, but how do you tell people your experience? and my undergrad degree was in marketing. I majored in business administration marketing, and right now it's social media. Social media is key. You have to, again, selling the experience.
Yeah, that's true.
And if you look at my website, djpersist.com, the very first thing you see is the video loop. The video loop is the experience, and there's a couple of like clips of me DJing in the nightclub, a couple of clips of me DJing a quinceañera, DJing a wedding, and that's the experience I'm selling to you. Yes, you go with XYZ DJ, but does this DJ give you this experience? Does this DJ have the nightclub experience? Does this DJ know how to blend songs? Does this DJ truly an open format DJ?
Right.
And again, that's what you're selling, the experience. What am I going to offer you that's different than another company? Because here in Chicago, there's hundreds of DJs. Hundreds.
Oh yeah,
DJs.
Man. There's a ton.
There's a ton.
There's competition everywhere.
Yeah,
for sure.
And again, this is what I'm offering. I'm offering you this. Again, if you want to get, I'm not for you. That's okay. But my experience is different because XYZ, and those videos that I have on there sell that. Like, this is who I am, and like, I'm not gonna BS you. Like, look, this is me DJing at a nightclub. Like, I could tell, I'm a club DJ. Where's the proof?
Right.
Boom.
Yeah.
Here's the visual. Here's me, and this is where you're getting me.
So, you started doing like weddings more consistently when, like, in 2014, 2015, right? Okay, so then, obviously from then till now, you've obviously done your fair share of weddings at this point, right? Now, would you say most of your wedding business now comes from just past clients that you've, past parties that you've, past weddings that you've done?
Yeah. So one of the key things, and again, with any industry, any business, is definitely referrals. Definitely, I've had like a couple of past clients, who's because of that wedding, I did multiple weddings.
Yeah.
And again, this one client that I have in mind, Vinny, his groomsmen, and then the bridesmaids booked me. I would say because of that one wedding that I did like 6 weddings, and I did their groomsmen, like, they liked me,
Yeah.
And I was always like, oh, hey, it's Jesse,
and it's like that spider web effect, right? Like, one person can lead you to the next one,
Yeah, for sure. And I think also it's just capturing, like, I could be BS you, I could tell you, yes, I'm the greatest DJ, and I'm going to perform really good. And at the end, of course, that's a salesman's pitch, I'm going to sell you the world in order to get your business. But you want to hear from other previous clients, and that's what I do. Like, I collect reviews. I do video reviews. I do text reviews. And that's key. Like, all right, I could tell you this, but here, listen to all my previous clients. I record them. You're like, here, this is the DJ per 6 experience. Like, you tell them, that's the huge marketing tool. Like, having them, tell their experience. And again, going back, you're selling the experience. Yeah. This is the experience you're going to get. And it's not me telling you, it's previous clients.
It's the actual person that went through that experience. They're telling you firsthand how great it was. So I'm sure that helps you bring in a lot more business that way. Now, so do they typically book, like, let's say if somebody's doing a wedding, would they typically book you for the DJ, and then you would add on all the other, like, parts of the service, like the photo booth or anything?
Yeah. So one thing about me is I'm very transparent. Again, in the world of Google, where everybody, and searching whatever business, you want to find what you're getting and how much is it. Right. How much is it going to cost? And again, as a realtor, what's the cost?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And I'm very transparent, no guessing games. I don't want to waste your time, don't waste my time either. I'm in a certain bracket with prices, and with the wedding industry, it varies. Wedding DJs, there's DJs who charge, again, $400 for the whole night. Wow. And that's like starter DJ, and that's okay. You get what you pay for. Right. For me to go starting, it's $1,500, which is pretty much a average price. Okay. I'm already thinking next year of raising my prices, right? Because what it is, Fat Joe say, yesterday's price is not today's price. Yeah, man. Yeah. Inflation is real. Yeah. So I'm definitely gonna raise my price. But there's a wide range. You have people charging $400, people charging $3,000. But again, that $3,000 DJ has been doing XYZ years. $3,000 DJ, you know, has XYZ to bring. You know, they're bringing XYZ equipment.
Yeah.
They're XYZ DJ. Like I'm good friends, you know, with some of the best DJs in Chicago. You know, the one DJ that I could think of, you know, who's probably two DJs. You know, they're like probably the city's best DJs right now is DJ Metro and DJ Gordo. You know, those guys are DJing nightclubs, and they have their price. And you know, and just knowing my guy DJ Metro, like he DJs at B96, the BBMX, the 104.3. He's gonna be up there as opposed to like a bar DJ who charges $50 a night. You're expect $50 DJ a night, you're not gonna get much. DJ Metro, DJ Gordo, you're getting an experience. It's well worth the money. And same thing with me. Like I'm not, yes, XYZ DJ you hit up is charging $600, but that's not me. I'm this range because I offer, again, the experience, XYZ experience.
Yes. You know your worth, and you know what you bring to the table for them to, you know.
And if they don't book, cool, you know, go on to the next person. I'll find somebody who will appreciate my value.
Right, exactly. Oh, that's the best way to put it, man. Awesome, dude. So let's get some advice from you, man. So what would you say? I know we kind of touched base on this. You mentioned, you know, getting a mentor is a great step for anybody getting into kind of any industry that wants to kind of learn. But so let's say somebody wants to become a DJ, or somebody wants to get into the wedding DJ business or space. What would be like your advice that you would give somebody that wants to do that? Yeah.
So one of the things with weddings, as opposed to like club DJing, there's two completely different realms, and there's a space, you know, for combining both skill sets. Because again, to be a club DJ, that's one skill set. Wedding DJ is another. Specifically for wedding DJing, you had to know your music genres. You know, there's like club DJs who, you know what, I just play hip hop. You're probably not going to make it in the wedding industry, just because, again, when you're thinking about wedding, it's not just 21-year-olds, you know.
There's families, there's all ages,
sure. All ages, you know. You have people who are 60, 70 years old to that young teenager, 14 years old, and wants the hottest TikTok song that's hot right now. So you have to, especially when you do quinceañera, so that's another story.
You got to make sure that you can meet those requests, right?
Yeah, you got to make sure, you know, you want to be a DJ who could definitely mix, you know, the top hip hop that's out right now. You know, you want to know about Dre, you want to know about Gunna, you want to know about the Baby, Little Baby, you know, like that's not the hip hop that I grew up with. That's not the hip hop that I'm comfortable with, but I have to learn it. You know, same thing with like country, you know, I was never into country, you know, and I had to learn it. I already know the top hits for country. I started getting into country now. So just because, you know, of so many requests, like, all right, this is a really cool song, you know. But yeah, you do have to know your genres, you know, and even with specifically, like I specialize in like multicultural weddings.
Okay.
You know, so a lot of the weddings that I get is somebody, let's say the bride or groom are Latino, and then the other partner is, again, white or whatever ethnicity they are. I got the Latino packed out, but even Latino, you know, we're so diverse.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
there's so many subgenres.
I did a Dominican and white wedding. I know Dominicans. You're like, all right, I'm playing bachata, I'm playing merengue.
Right.
And I told the bride that, like, oh yeah, play the XYZ. And oh yeah, you know your stuff. So much for that wedding. There was guests from New Jersey and New York. They're like, you know what? Yeah, I'm from New Jersey, New York. You know, you're like better than the DJs over there. Like, I want to book you and take you over there. And like, yeah, because I know what to play. I'm not gonna go to a Dominican wedding and play Mexican cumbia because they're gonna be like, what the hell is this?
Right.
I'm not gonna play Suavemente.
You gotta know your audience.
I'm not gonna play Suavemente because that's what every Latin who does not know Latin music plays. You know, so you have to know your audience. You know.
Right.
Obviously, and then even like doing like mainstream weddings. By mainstream weddings, I mean white weddings. You know, they have their own genre of music. You know, what's huge, you know, it's 80s rock. You know, Sweet Caroline. You know, those are, you got to know the hits. You know, from those genres. And so it's, again, knowing your music, and again knowing how to mix those genres too. You know, you can't, and it goes back to the whole club DJ. You know, there's certain way that you mix at a club than you mix at a wedding. You know, there's some genres that again, you play 1 minute of a song, and that's more the club style. That's the way I like to DJ. I will not play a song more than 2 minutes, and it's a real quick mixing. I play over 200 songs in one event.
Wow.
And also, I guess that's what distinguishes me from other, I guess, wedding DJs is I know when to switch genres. I know how to read. It's called reading the crowd.
Okay.
I see nobody dancing. I'm gonna switch it up right away and to something else.
You want to get the party going. You want to
party
get people,
going, and it's a progression. It's like a curve. I'm not gonna play EDM music right in the beginning. I'm gonna build up to that point. Right. So it has to do a lot with the programming. So yeah, that would be my best advice: is knowing your music. And then knowing how to mix it, and then again start small. Start doing maybe weddings. Don't start out with weddings.
Right.
Honest, do not start out with weddings because I will start off, with house parties. Asking your family members, hey, you're having little Lily's 7th birthday party. DJ at the birthday party.
Yeah.
Get to know how to DJ in front of a crowd. It's
a no pressure kind of situation where you can actually build on your craft and learn on it, right? So
know who what songs make people move, what songs don't. What to play, what not to play, and they all right, cool. I did a couple house parties under my belt, all right, let me try to get into a bar or a club, and then again, if you don't want to do that scene, again, start doing private events, and there's always companies who subcontract. For me, I'm not that type of company. I am just one DJ, one event company, and that's for me just more quality control.
Okay.
It's more, again, there's DJ companies who hire XYZ DJs, but I care so much about my brand that I don't know if I ever will go that route.
That was going to be my next question. Would you ever plan on expanding or maybe bringing in other DJs to be a part of your company?
Not in the near future.
Okay.
Yeah, I would have to quit my job.
Okay.
my
to actually,
and which I don't foresee doing that. I spend too much time and too much money getting these master degrees. So definitely not going to do that. So
nice, man. What's your 5-year plan? Where do you see yourself?
Oh man, 5 year again. Like I was mentioning before, I'm more to a point where again I'm booked in pretty much every single weekend, April to November, which is prime wedding season. I think I'm at to a point where I had to elevate my price and maybe scale down on the amount of events that I do and charge more. So I can getting me more for a premium.
Right.
And again, I started getting more into, yes, I love DJing. I will always love DJing, but I'm starting to get more into the photo booths stuff.
Yeah.
Again, like I mentioned before, I have 5 photo booths,
nice.
And each one of them is just something new. I don't want to stay stagnant, I don't want to stay in the same place, and I think with doing more with photo booths and I think it's the photography thing.
Okay.
So
building those aspects of your business as well.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest, one of the booths that I have is a 360 booth. And what that is...
Those are pretty big now, right?
Yeah, those are... that's the next hottest thing right now, or hottest thing right now in the photo booth industry is 360 booths. So what it is, you stay on a platform. It's a camera goes around you, and it's video, and that's what video is king right now.
Yeah.
Everybody watches YouTube, TikTok.
Right.
And TikTok, I think, is probably the thing right now. TikTok, Instagram, what does they have? Reels.
Yeah. Reels.
Those everybody wants to watch the video, and I think I'm probably gonna get featured, with this podcast, with one of those reels,
exactly.
And again, people
see that,
want visuals, and I think that's the thing that again, I just bought it last year.
Okay.
I have my first 2-3 events this year, which I'm pretty excited about. And I set up my house and I had fun, I put my kids in there. They had a money gun, they threw it in the air, confetti in there, they had fun,
That's awesome.
I'm actually bringing that experience, to an event, again, it's selling the experience,
you're making it a memorable event, right? And at the end of the day, most weddings, that's what you want. You want to create a once in a lifetime experience where everybody, the guests and the bride and groom, will always remember. Because
again, with DJing photo booths, it's not about the music. It's not about actually having the pictures. What experience are you giving to the guests?
Right.
What experience are you giving to your clients?
Right.
You know, the experience I'm giving to my clients is stress-free environment.
Right.
They don't have to worry about the little details, because I'm going to worry about the little details. The guests in the photo booth, they're having fun and they're playing with all these props, you know.
Yeah.
Have like fake, well, it's not fake. It's a prop of a Henny bottle, you know. So like, oh, people are drinking it, you know. And,
right.
They had this eggplant and they just put in each other's faces, you know, with putting a peach, you know, and the eggplant together, you know, having fun. You know, that's what they want. You know, when are you gonna grab an eggplant for you? You know, and by eggplant I mean an emoji. You know,
right? The emojis, yeah.
Yeah, never. Like I don't think nobody has a eggplant emoji. You know, yeah, you will go to the grocery store and grab an eggplant, but it's the emojis. You know, a physical emoji. You know, and just grabbing it and just having fun with it. You know, and that's the experience. You know, that I'm selling. I'm selling that experience. I'm not necessarily selling the strip. You know, the physical strip that you're getting. I'm selling the experience, the experience of
the
capturing
moments,
those moments. Yeah.
And then you have a way to actually capture that moment as well, which is awesome.
Yeah, because I have a camera and I could take pictures of you, but what are you gonna do? You know, you can be dancing, but you actually have something with you. I'm grabbing this Sears Tower you have, like, all right, cool, like, you know.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy for your success, dude. I think, you know, you're one of the best DJs that I know, for sure. So, you know, I see nothing but good things going your way as well. And I definitely thank you for taking the time today to join us on this podcast episode, man.
For sure.
What's the best way for people to get in touch with you, reach out to you?
Yeah, Instagram, DJ Persist. My website, djpersist.com. Photo booths is persistphotobooths.com. That's also my handle for my Instagram.
Okay.
Persist Photo Booths. And then my my newest venture, the photography, is Persist Multimedia.
Nice.
So
cool, man. Well, thank you guys for checking in and for listening to this episode. We'll see you next time. Thank you.